the highlights I'm going to do on her are called shimmer highlights. They're baby fine highlights. You can call them baby lights or shimmer highlights. It looks like the sun hit it and made it lighter, not necessarily it was highlighted. Okay, so I took that one section, and now this is called a shimmer highlight. It's baby fine highlights. I'm going to put this underneath, and so what I do is have this, put it right underneath, and then you're going to place it right on top. See how nice and smooth that is? Now this should be a little thick so it would hold it down. You don't get super close. Lightener swells. So see, it'll swell and it will, you need that little tiny spot. If this bled, if this is not thick enough, it could bleed on here and make spots in their hair. So always be careful of that. Okay, now you're gonna piece this out. Wherever, if there's a little blonde piece here, I'm not gonna touch that. I'm gonna touch anything that's not blonde. See, this one's a little bit blonde, so I'll just touch the other ones that are not. You turn it, get those edges, and then flip. Now I'm going to get a really small, another section. This is an important part because it's the whirl of their hair. Okay, so I'm going to really baby fine grab it. See, so I always, my fingers are always my sectioners. You have to have it taut so you don't lose it. You're going to just, remember, a little tiny bit away from that very root. Leave that little tiny spot. This is going to swell and it'll be perfect. Don't touch the blonde pieces. Just kind of paint the ones that need to be painted. Like these ends don't need to be because they're pretty light already. And this is lightener with 20 volume, so it's going to give me a little time. When I get to the other part of her head, the front, I'm going to use 30 volume. And that's important because you want it to take all the same. Depending on if you're fast or you're slow, you're always going to up your volume though when you're halfway done with the head. Baby, just take a section and weave it. And they're always fine sections, especially because it's fine hair. Grab it, place it on, and make sure, even if you have to grab that again, grab it, put it down. Leave that little blonde out. And you see, it's like, it's hard because it's such short hair. But you'll see how beautiful it'll come out. You're going to place that on here. Okay, now I'm going to get, not necessarily, I want to get the dark pieces. You don't really want to go over the blonde already because it could, unless you change it to like a 5 volume, otherwise you're going to leave that out and you do all this with the 20 volume. And you know, you take like a little bit through each hair. So this way, this is going to be a more soft brown, light or dark blonde really. And then we'll have nice little highlights going through there. If you have to use 2 clips, which sometimes you do because it's short hair, use 2 clips. Do whatever it takes to make it good. Remember, you need that tension. And the reason why I like to do shimmer on Tammy is because they're soft. We really do want it to be a natural look. We don't really want it to be chunky or bold. Sometimes if you go side by side, it works good too. And always remember, it doesn't have to be exactly the way I do, but just do it that's comfortable for you and that works. So over here, you see it coming out a little, just put it down right away. So this way that piece is staying. See that little blonde there? You don't want to do that. You just kind of get that out of the way. It's like painting a little palette. Make sure you have a good brush. Make sure your bleach is thick. So this is an important part. So this is what you want to do. Here is nice little soft shimmers. You're going to do a little less and a little less because you're not going to be able to grab this hair. So it's going to start, we're going to start kind of grabbing that hair towards this way. So the whole thing will start to come this way, kind of to a point a little bit. So it looks nice when it's highlighted with this real short back. So you have to be mindful and thoughtful of how it's going to look. What happens is sometimes you can get like it looks like feathers down there and it looks like a little strange. You want it to be natural, remember that. So just go less, even take the parting less. Right now it's like right here we're going to go a little less and then a little less and then a little less. Okay, now you still grab that little hair, little baby shimmers. Okay, pinch it, put that foil underneath it. Now you probably have to do this whole piece. Now I'm going to grab this so that it's really still close. And if you see those ends, try not to touch those ends. And if you have to, another great thing that you could do is have another bowl of conditioner. So any of those blondes, say if you do want to go over it a little, put a little bit of conditioner on there and then you can go over it with that bleach, that lightener. Okay, so I'm going to take it a little less now. Okay, and I'm even going to not take so many either. You do even a little less. Now pinch it. Now actually there's only like 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I'm going to hold this so that it doesn't go away because short hair will like fly out of your hand. Go straight down. And this is called basically blending. It's going to blend into this so that this is, because you can't grab this with lightener. So you could try to paint it, but it would be very, very hard and difficult. So you take the next piece a little bit less. Now I'm going to do like 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next one will be 3. And then that will be it. Put it on, fingers hold it. The next side you fold with your comb. All right, and now we're just gonna go a little more. And this will be like 1, 2, like probably 1, 2, 3. And it will be a very soft transition. I could have it all really thick, but I like it a little more natural looking. I could have it where it's really all blonde and then just this dark here because that's a really pretty and cute look too, but we're not going to do that today. Okay, now I'm going to go to this side. I'm going to do the whole back of the head first, or you could do the front of the head first. Either way, I'm going to do this. This is with 20 volume with lightener, and the front I'm going to do with 30 volume and lightener. So I'm going to take this way. Okay, now you're going to do a whole weave. Pinch it, hold that hair, and if this is in your way, just make it a little tighter. And what gets hard is holding that hair up. So you can either grab a lip of this one and then hold on to it so it attaches, because it's short hair will always kind of be frustrating because it's going to want to pop out. So it's very important to make sure everything's in the proper place so it's easier for you. Pinch it, put that foil underneath, grab it, always leave that little tiny part. Try not to touch the real blonde ones. And you just leave a little bit of hair in between each one. Remember, these are called shimmers, and you'll see why. Once you get a rhythm, you can do it faster. efficiently, fast. Take the next section, clip it up. And then you can take it. You're going to hold it. Make sure it's saturated for all the pieces that you need. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll put another one up here just so to hold them, and then I could use this to hold the next couple, because sometimes the hair will try to pop out. You still have to, you're going to wean this part too. Not just yet though. You still want a little, another like pretty full shimmer here. Remember, pinch it. If it's hard to grab, just grab it with these two fingers and then grab it and pinch it with your thumb. Okay, because you need it tight there. It's important. And it's not gonna, you can't always get every single piece of blonde out, but you're gonna try your best. Make an effort to make things the best that they can possibly be. Okay. Fold it up. The neater your foils are, the better it'll be. Okay, now we're just gonna go a little less. Pinch that hair. So we are going to do like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to grab that again. Okay, so this, you're just going to have to put that right there. Move your hand out of the way. As the lightener sits, this particular one starts to swell, so it's kind of nicer because it's a little thicker and it will hold that hair better. So then you could go a little closer to the root because of that. Otherwise, when you first do it, it's too thin. I'm going to do just like 4 here, and I think that will be about it. The thicker it is, the more it'll stay, and it won't necessarily swell because it's already, that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so now we did that side. Now, you always want to think of something very important. If you're going to use, you want to do like back, side, side, or if you're going to do the top, side, side, always have a pattern. That's something very important. Pattern so that it comes out even and equal. Even when you're touching up hair in between this, which we're not doing, but because we broke our base at first, but I do that a lot. I will do it as a pattern. Just in case you run out, always make sure like the front and the sides, if you're coloring it after, and then finish the back last. So this is something important to see too. She had more hair on this because this is her heavy side. This is her less side, so it's going to be a little different. So you're going to compensate. You're going to do a little extra on this side because it has less hair, and it's going to be a little bit different over here. You're going to have to just, you could still do them down, or actually, yeah, we're going to actually take them here. It'll have less here, so then we'll start taking these sections and probably either going up this way. There's different things that you could do to see what works better, but I really want to try to get this back part, and then we'll come up this way, however it takes. You need little baby foils for her hair too, as well. Remember, get that first section out of the way, and try to like get that out of the way too. This one's an important one. I'm being purposeful and mindful of how I'm placing them in there. Make sure the ends is straight here too. Okay, now I'll take the next one and I'm going to start coming down. shimmer highlight, pinch it. Everything's nice and small. The foil is very thin, so it's bendable and workable. And just so you guys know, it's not always a set formula. You're gonna kind of do it by section, by piece. Sometimes a calic will stick up or something like that, so you wanna do a little extra pieces around that calic. Or if a side falls a certain way. Always be thoughtful about what you're doing and what you think it's gonna look like. You're gonna see where that little highlight is gonna fall. So now we're gonna wean it a little because I'm coming around to here. So I did 5, just the last shimmer light. Now I'm gonna do 4. And you just separate it more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're basically gonna make it balanced though. I think that's the greatest key to hairdressing, balance. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but definitely a good balance so it looks like it goes better. Sometimes you cut hair uneven to make it look even, especially when they have calics. Calics are difficult to do. You lift it all up and see where you left off. So I'm gonna do probably 1 more here and then 1 more right here. See, because over here, how I have this one lower, so she's gonna have a piece over there. So I have to put 2 more in there. So I'm gonna lift that up. Tammy, okay?
I'm fine, thank you.
So I am gonna just do like a little 1, 2, little baby pieces too. 3, 4, just so it's a little something. Even though I did 2 there, it's okay because it'll soften. They're baby pieces. I think the one before that was 3. We left off with 3, which is totally fine. And look, we could probably do 1 more. You see how the lower you go, the harder that hair is. You can barely grab it. 1, 2, 3. And because I'm taking such fine pieces, it's okay if I take just those little extra. There's no set rules, girls. Remember that. But look how small they are. So this way it'll really be soft at that bottom. And it'll blend. It's kind of like melting. It'll melt into her other hair. And then we'll do 1 more over here. Yep. And then I could maybe just do possibly a baby fine one. 1 more. And remember where these are gonna lay, these little baby ones, and then the next one's gonna jump over here. So it's important to like look where they're gonna lay. So that's why you want them so fine. So if it doesn't so go together, it's still gonna look fine. Good, so now her whole bottom, you'll be able to see that's gonna kinda be that it's all even on there. So always remember something, the goal is to make her shimmery, to make it blend really nice together to go with that bottom. And it's okay if you change the plan while you're doing it. You're like, okay, I need a couple more here, I need a couple more there. No big deal, do it. I'm not a very intricate hair cutter that everything has to be so right on. I just don't believe in that. You're always working with a different canvas. All right, so we have this little front here and this side here. I'm gonna actually start with her top now, and her hair is gonna sweep over this way. Okay, so I'm gonna have to take this in 2 because this is a pretty wide top. So I'm gonna take 1 here and we're gonna make it a nice big weave. And I want 1 more right here. I definitely want this bright up here. Okay, this is where she's gonna have a little bit more blonde because her hair is longer here. So she'll have other blonde. When it's shorter, it's hard to like, you usually cut that blonde out that's on the ends. Now I'm gonna do one right here too. Get this out of the way though. Make sure it's a clean section that you can take. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember something, the little things matter the most. People could leave that out, but this is going to be so pretty and it's all going to blend so nice together. So don't leave things out. Just make sure that you are thorough. Okay, now it's time that I got to change and up my volume, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I had highlighting lightener left in here and a lot of it, and I didn't want it to go to waste. Listen, huge things, girls, are that we waste product. That is not good. So I knew I had to up the volume, but I knew I had to change it. So what I did was added 40 to make it a 30, because 20 and 40 would make it right in the middle, would be 30. And then I put this thickener, it's called clay. You could even use cornstarch if you wanted to. It doesn't dilute the process or the activator at all. And now it made it thicker so that you want it to stay on the hair. You don't want the highlights to slide. Very, very important, but you still want it moist enough that it takes. So now we could brick this. There's lots of different ways. I'm going to teach you lots of different foil patterns, and you're going to see what works best with the canvas that you're working on. Grab that hair, and I want to teach you guys something. You could do a slice here, just because I want it a little bit brighter up top. I'm going to take this whole thin thing. I'm not going to weave it. It's called a slice. So when you just take a straight piece of hair, and you just do that. Just kind of get the blonde out of there. Don't touch the blonde ends, I should say blonde ends. And now you have to do this piece right here too. And just take a straight slice, nice and thin. And see how close it is to that root? You can get it closer when you don't have a board. And what you do is you separate those little blonde pieces that you see and just get the brown ones. And just push that out of there. You're going to lift this one up and lift this one up. Now I'm going to do a weave. These are going to be, it's called a back-to-back. And you could do so many different things a back-to-back. That was a slice, a straight piece. Now I'm going to take the weave. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is, baby fine. And you'll see this is going to be a little bit brighter here. You can always do this top a lot more because it's not having to blend with anything. So it's going to be really striking and even prettier, because natural highlights from the sun always will focus on this top part. So the top part will always be lighter from the sun. So if you're looking to do something natural, always remember, you could get this one out of the way. Just push it out of the way. It's very mindful to how you fold those foils so that they start sticking. Now I'm going to take this one. And again, if this starts to drop, girls, stick another clip in. Don't be afraid to clip it. Make sure you have something very easy to work with. Make sure short hair is hard, so you're going to really have to have extra clips, extra pieces of things. Okay, get close. Get that little blonde out of the way. So that was called a back-to-back. Now I'm gonna do another slice. I'm gonna start bricking this a little bit and going like this. So I'll start to brick it. I'm gonna do a slice here. That's just a straight piece. Now I'm going to take another back there. So I'm going to actually start finishing this way, and then I'll start doing some this way. So I make sure that I get her corner too. So remember, it doesn't have to be all perfect. I do a lot of mohawks. That means a straight back sides and then down and then the full back. But this one is different because it's short hair and I'm going with her head shape. Yes, it'll take a little more time, but that's okay. It'll be so worth it and stunningly beautiful. Remember, you pinch it. I left the little blonde out. You can leave some of those ends out. You're going to start seeing a little rhythm. Now I'm going to leave a little extra hair in that one, but I just do want to make it straight, really nice and straight. All right, guys, so I have conditioner, and you need a thick conditioner so that when you want to touch, she's going to have more blonde in this front, so that I'm going to be cautious not to touch it again. Listen, once hair is highlighted, you do not want to go back over it again with highlighting bleach, only unless you put the conditioner first, and then you use then you could put this over it very lightly, or you could mix another whole highlighter and use like 5 volume with conditioner in it. So there's different ways to do it, but this was the way we're going to do it today, and you'll see. And it has to be thick. Remember that. So I'm going to piece this. You have your head down. I want to get this one out of the way. And why don't you want to go over highlighted hair already? Because it's already highlighted. You don't want it to frizz and be so dry. And that is a straight slice I took. So now I'm going to take a weave here. Remember, these are called back to back. And you could do 2 slices if you were making it bolder and chunkier. But remember the pattern that you're doing so that you keep following through. Now when I do it over here, I have to do the same thing. 1 slice and then a skinny little weave and then hair that you take out. And then the next one will be 1 slice, a skinny little weave, and then you take a piece of hair out. Take that little piece out because it's blonde. I'm going to take this. It's going to be a little bit thicker and a little brighter. Make sure that's flat. Now you're going to see that I'm coming up to much more highlighted hair. So just take out those pieces. Sometimes it's a pain. Sometimes it's a little tedious, but trust me when I tell you, it's a payoff because that hair will be in such great condition that it'll shine and you'll get other people because of it. So always make sure that you go a little above than what somebody else would do so that they always come back to you. That's how you build your clientele, with trust. If this was your hair, wouldn't you want it in the best condition, the best shape? Don't just do things because it's easy to just go over the whole thing. Okay, this one is pretty dark, so this one I can do the whole thing. If you're going to forget the pattern, you could actually start on this one right away before I get back to there. So it depends on what you think and where you're at. This one I'm going to do a straight slice. Remember, slice is just a straight piece. You don't put any weave in there. Get it real close. Now, what I'm going to do is touch those ends a little bit right here. And now I'm going to touch this over. Now I'm going to put that through. So this way it diluted that. So that end won't be harmed. But it will get a little lighter and a little brighter. Now I'm going to do a little weave. Put your head down a little more, Tammy. Pinch it. Baby foil. Even if you have to manipulate that foil just to get it the way you need to, that's what you do. You need patience to do this. But just remember something. Even if it takes you a while, it's going to be so worth it and so pretty. Yeah. All right, now I'm going to take a piece out. And now I'm going to do a straight slice. Get that blonde piece out of there. Touch all the rest. And put that conditioner on that. I just go back over a little. Now I'm going to do that little weave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it doesn't all have to be the same. Just as long as it's a skinny weave and it'll blend. And I did go back when I changed the volume. I did go back and I actually got a new brush. You want to make sure the brush doesn't get too messy. And I'm kind of like going back over it with every other, not every single one, after I put the conditioner on. Okay, now we're kind of even. Now I'm gonna, actually, yeah, I'm just gonna keep going here. Lift that up. See how fine hair, short hair takes a lot longer because you have to really get each piece. Little conditioner, little conditioner. And I'm just going to do this part. And I'm sure as you're watching, you see a lot of variety that I'm doing. Not everything's the same, and that's what's important to watch, to see that you just change it up a little bit. But overall, it's similar pattern. Conditioner. And what you could do, say if you do touch it, because it's hard to just get them all out, you can always, after you put it on and you hit a blonde piece, just put some conditioner over that blonde piece. And what does the conditioner do? It dilutes it. It stops it from taking so well. Okay, now we're getting to her top, her front. I'm going to start, I'm actually going to start doing it from this side too. And this is really important. Make sure it kind of goes with this next one over here. Do a straight piece. And there's a blonde right in the middle there. So I'm gonna condition it, and then I'm gonna lightly go over it. Now I'm gonna do that little weave. So I'm gonna actually weave this one and not necessarily slice it. I'm gonna go in that conditioner. I feel like each piece is gonna kind of tell you, like, think about like what you're doing to that piece, and why would you do it a little bit more or a little less? Like, be mindful of things. I think that's very important for you as a beginner and learning to be mindful. Why are you doing it? What's it going to look like? Look at how it's going to fall if you just look at the hair. See, like right here, this is baby fine now. Because she has like fine hair right here, and it's like it's not a cowlick, but it's a receding hairline a little bit. So I'm going to kind of take finer piece. I'm not going to take a straight chunk. These all little things matter. Remember, I always want you to remember the little things matter the most. That's what's going to set you apart from somebody else, being thoughtful. And yes, it takes more time, and yes, it's kind of annoying and consuming, but it's so worth it. Remember, girls, nothing good comes without working hard. So now I'm going to even have those weaves. I'm not necessarily going to do a slice. Actually, I'm going to do one more weave here, and then I'll do a slice. So then I'm going to kind of change this. I want it to be super soft on this receding hairline right here, so that there's no lines. Okay. Conditioner, and then I'm going to go back over those though. And that'll fall ever so softly right here. Now I'm going to take, and now I'm going to kind of cut this. If this is falling out, then find another spot for it. I'm going to leave this. I'm just going to put a little conditioner up, but not touch it. Touch those ends. Just move them out of the way though, so you don't fold over them and they get in the root. Okay. Head down, Tam. And this is a back-to-back weave. The other ones, I did a slice with a weave. These, I'm doing a back-to-back weave. And this is a little heavy on here, so I want to like push this back a little bit. And I'm kind of doing this on an angle. I'm going to go with her hairline. And then I'll come over here and do this. This is going to be a baby fine little slice too. And the reason why you want to do little baby fine slices is because it just makes it a little bit brighter, especially the spring is here now. It's such a beautiful day out. So make sure you don't leave any brown though, because if you do, you'll have a spot there of brown. And trust me, you'll see it. That will be a little bit bold. That's why I love doing that little slice in the front. Make sure you wipe that top off. Make sure you wipe that little top off. Okay. Pinch it, pinch it, pinch it. This is going to be a little harder. Get this little piece out of the way. Conditioner. Go back over it. Okay, let me see one more. Okay, this is a real baby fine one too. You could, instead of lifting it up, just ever so slightly. Tender loving care. You grab that hair with a little baby weave. This would be the baby lights, they're called, baby lights. And listen, the finer hair takes quicker, so really try to make sure you do not touch that blonde. That's in the front, just the brown only. Good. Each piece is individual. Don't smash it on either, because that little pieces that I didn't touch, I don't necessarily want it to like smash against that. So even when you put the foil up, just, you know, just be thoughtful and mindful. Now I'm going to take this up. Now I'm going to do one here. And it's so fine, but you'll see it's going to be so bright and so nice. So you think like, what would you do here, right? So you're going to always make sure that you take a little tiny section out of the way, because you need a little, you know, her natural color in there. And then this one is going to be colored right here. And then this is going to be another darker piece. They're kind of like called highlights and lowlights. I'm going to get this one out of the way too. I'm going to make one right here, and then I'm going to start doing it down that way. Or I could do it here, and then I could start going up and go up that way as well. There's different ways that you do it. Feel what's comfortable for you and what you feel like you can do. I'm going to put this down so it's not in my way. I want this part pretty bright right here. See those ends? I love to make sure that you stay consistent and thorough through your whole highlighting. You know, make sure you don't go over those ends. And if you do, make sure you put the conditioner back over it. And then I'm just going to take this one ever so gentle and dainty. I'm going to move that one. Actually, you can move this darker one over here, and then you could get it that way. And just get the end here. And you know what, you can leave that because all this is going to be covering that. So now we're going to go here though, but you got to put this one down so you can get to it. Remember, we push that hair out of the way, and now, you know, it's a little crowded in there. You want to have this like a pretty strong weave. And you need little foils, that's important too. I think the sides are the hardest thing to do. Because there's such little hair there. And such a, like, now everything's kind of getting in the way and getting crowded. But I still want it bright, so now I'm going to take like a slice straight across. And the reason why it's thick is so that those foils don't slide either. Get as close as you can. You know, yeah, there's some highlights on there, so you're gonna just touch them a little and then go back over the brown more. Make sure the ends go off. You wipe it off. I'm going to take a little section. Always be mindful. Right here is going to be full and right here is going to be full. So you could leave a piece in between. I wish there was like real baby foils for these. So what you're going to do too is leave this part out. You're really not going to do this, so you could always put it behind the ear if you want. And or I'm going to change this direction. I'm going to make sure it gets around her hairline. See right there, you'll have more to grab. So actually I'm going to be able to get this piece in if I do it this way. Pinch it. Oh. Do not touch that piece. You want to get that out of there. The finer the hair, usually right around this hairline, it takes the fastest. That's why it's best to do it last, because it will take quick. Okay, now look, see, it won't move. That's why it's important to make sure this is like your glue. And then you could do the ends and whatever it is you need to do with those ends. And make it tiny so you can see what you're doing in the next piece. And I do want to do one more right here, and I'm going to actually take it from the front. Okay, I'm going to pull that little tiny piece, make sure it's nice and smooth and straight. I'm going to grab that, and then I'm going to take this and get that out of the way and just grab these pieces over. Trust me, this is going to be so pretty, this little front. You just have to be patient. All right, these foils are stuck together a little. Tammy, can you hold these foils for me, honey? I want you to just take them, separate them. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece. Once you get this paste on there, it's really good. So you see, you got to make sure that you take the hair. Every canvas is different. You want to take the hair of what is going to work better for you, but you just have to make sure that you're going to get it. Even if you have to like take this and clip it to another piece of hair.
Excuse me.
Okay. This one I'm going to make a slice. Because it's not right around the hairline. It's like the next one that will like be good, that it's a little bold. Because some of these are bold up here. Now I'm going to do one that's bold, then another slice, then a little tiny bold one again. And I could do these ends, even though there's a little bit of blonde. It's not going to make a big difference right for this section. Because you want a little brighter because it's less hair. And you'll be cutting some of that off too. So that's why you don't have to worry. I'm going to do this one again because I want more, so it's going to be another slice. The slices will give you brighter and more pieces. Okay, so let's look. So that hair will be nice. There's all these foils that will be over this. It'll definitely, you could maybe try to get one more in there if you really want to be a perfectionist, but I don't think it'll really matter, but we'll just do like 1, 2. A little baby one, but really you don't have to. I just want to show you it can be done. Hold it, and now this side is done, and then you're going to go to the other side. This is her heavier side. So this is the other side. See how they're both different? So you got to take them and look and see what's going on. What's the best way to highlight this spot? So you got to make sure that we come around here, because trust me, I've done her hair too. You're never going to be perfect, but you're going to just try to do it as best as you can. And you want to just make sure there's coverage everywhere. Because I have done her hair before. Like one side I did a little extra, the other side not as much. So, you know, I'm learning to be way more thoughtful with the sides, not just having a straight pattern, to actually just look at the hair and make sure that I have it done around the same amount on both sides. So now I'm going to really weave this one, baby fine lights they're called. Pinch it Make sure you get any hair out of the way that doesn't belong there. Okay, make sure your stuff is thick because it will hold that. See, now it holds. And then I'm going to do, and it's okay, you can either fold that again. The other side I did fold it twice, but this side I'm not. So now I'm going to go inside. I just want to get some of those little baby ones right there. So for a full head of highlights, which we're doing on her, is $150, depending on where you work. But you see how much work it is? It's a lot of work. But that's why people pay money, because you're paying for expertise. And the better you get, the more that you can, have an expertise and be able to charge that for what you do. Because not everybody can do this. So you can go to somewhere that's a lot cheaper, but they're not going to do it like this, or they'll put your hair through a cap. Because short hair is very hard, or they'll tell you can't highlight it. So I feel like you could give people, for the most part, what they want, but it does, anything good costs. All right, so I'm gonna do another weave right here. Actually, I think I'm gonna do a slice here. Yeah. Remember, this is gonna be not as much hair on this side. Make sure you touch it. I'm going to just touch those two little ends with conditioner, that one right there too, and then fold. Next one's going to be a little hair, and then I'm going to do a weave. And you see it's easier on this side to do it this way instead of the way we did the other side. Nice thin little weave. The longer hair will meet down. You're going to pick this up at the end so that you can grab it. Otherwise, if you tried to bring this bottom to the top, it would fall right out of your fingers. But you just make sure you lift this back up to the top to where it lives so that you can make sure that you get the highlight all the way up there. And if there's blonde, remember you could just put the conditioner over top. But if it's not too blonde and it still has a lot of yellow in there, you could definitely go over it. I'm going to separate it. Okay, because this is really hard not to get the blonde. Remember, just go back over it with bleach, even if it touched it. I mean with conditioner, sorry. Okay, so if you get that blonde, don't forget with the lightener, you want to go back over it with conditioner so that it stops the process from getting too light. Okay, so that was a slice. Now I'm going to put another thing and then another weave. I'm getting close to the end. And you always tilt their head to make sure that you're comfortable, because they're sitting there, but you're doing this all day long. You start getting a bad neck and a bad back if you don't do it in the right posture. These two are stuck together. Do that. Okay, now because I have all these foils behind it too, I just want to do one more. And I'm just going to do a weave. And pretty much it should be balanced. Now what we're going to do is check the back where we started first after. I'm going to put just some conditioner on some of those little back ones. Remember, the lightener is thicker, so this way it's not really going to swell. So that's why I was able to go closer to the root here. Back here, you'll see how close it went. So now I'm done with that side. Now we're going to check the back. And if you have to, because it took a while, short hair definitely takes longer. You got to make sure you take out enough time on the book for short hair, and that, see, so look, see how that lightener swelled? And she's not just ready yet. See how it's still a little yellow there? You can always touch it a little bit. And you just touch some of the yellow, that if you needed to. See how neat it is? That there's a pattern, even though it's not all exactly the same. It's very balanced, the pattern, and it's all around her head. Okay, so that's looking good. So I would say we're going to check that timer. Once it's in that yellow stage, I would say probably another 10 minutes. And then we'll check her front. Remember, we used 20 volume for the back, and then we did 30 for the front. But because I had extra bleach and lightener that had 20 in it, I used 40 to make it a 30. This will take quicker, but this has been sitting longer. That's why I use less volume, and that's really, really important. I feel like a lot of hairdressers, what they do is they don't want to take the time. They just want it to just be quick. They don't care about the hair. Care about the hair. Girls, it makes a difference. Trust me, please trust me. It's so important to make people's hair look stunning, because that's how you build your following. Because somebody will see her hair and go, oh, I love your hair. Who did your hair? And it was the time I took. It was the thoughtfulness I took, that I wanted to be all the same. You could, if you didn't want to change that volume peroxide, you don't 100% have to, but what's going to happen is you're going to have a water bottle and a towel, and you're going to have to take each one out, and it'll be double the amount of work as well anyway. Or unless you have this really bright blonde, and this will be more of a yellow blonde, and then you're going to have to fix it, and it's just makes so much less mistakes if you just do it the right way the first time. Always remember, do it the right way, and you won't have to fix it. So that's it. Now we're going to let her sit 10 minutes, and then we're going to check her again. Good. Okay, so now it's time to check her. You want to check, remember I started in the back first, so you check some of the back first. Make sure that hair looks good. That looks great, nice and bright, nice and light, that's what we want. Now you're going to check the front. Oops, sorry. Let me see, Kim. And always check in a couple different spots. Okay, that's still a little bit yellow, so maybe just like 5 more minutes, but I'm going to pull some of those back ones out, just a couple, because the ones that I first started, but otherwise that's just about done. So I'd say 5 more minutes, and you could put her under the lights just for the front as well. Okay, but like that one's done. So let me see again. Check another one. Don't just go with that. Check another one, and then if this one's really blonde, then you can, it'll measure out. Okay, it still has a little bit of yellow to it, so we're definitely going to do another 5 minutes just right in the front. And I'm just going to put the lights right on here, and I'm just going to take these 2 top ones out right here, and that's it. Let me get those lights again. Okay, so I am making sure that I aim right on this section right here. So you make sure that you focus these lights right on that section, and you don't want it super, super close, but you want it just close enough so there's warmth. The warmth will make the highlighting highlighter lighter, and it will work quicker. So that is 5 more, and then we're done. But I am going to take those ones out in the back. And what you could do is just pull it. And even if you pull them out, it's okay, because it's the air will stop the action. In a foil, it heats it up more so that it takes quicker. That's why when you paint hair or you balayage hair, you need definitely a higher volume peroxide, because this will not take as quick if I painted this whole head, which would be really, really hard to do anyway on short hair. So long hair is easier to paint. But in a foil, everything takes quicker. You won't really get necessarily brass or orange. And trust me, that's a big, huge thing that a lot of people run into. I'm just going to take just the first few, and that's good. I'm going to let them sit, and then these are going to be 5 more minutes, and then we'll be ready. Yay for this beautiful blonde highlight. You'll love it, and I'm loving it, and she'll love it more, and so will other people. Okay, so make sure you just pull the ends, pull them out quick. They're short, so the good thing is they usually just pull right out and slide out. So make sure you get them out quick. If you need help, you could ask somebody else to help you. Just don't pull the hair. And the ones that you folded, you just have to unfold. And then you can see the pattern that you did too. It's pretty cool. And that's that baby one right around there. Pull them all out. Okay. And get all of these, just fold them all together. And you could close that cuticle real quick with just putting a little bit of cool water. Kimmy, it's going to be a little cold, like freezing cold, just for a moment, just to close that cuticle down real quick. Okay, better? Not yet. Okay, now it's getting better, right? Mm-hmm. And then what I like to do is I like to cut it first, and then I like to glaze it if she needs a glaze. And even just a clear glaze to close that cuticle down. But sometimes what I like, because her hair is fine, it's nice actually if you get that perfect blonde, they actually don't have to glaze it, because it'll put a little roughness and a little texture to that hair. Look how pretty those colors are together. Just a beautiful dark blonde with little baby fine highlights through the whole head.